Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, has come back on set. Kaveh, oh my goodness. How do you react to that?
Well, look, the first thing you should say is that referees are human beings. They make mistakes like everybody else. They were working there in a very highly pressurised environment, and they made a mistake. And it was a big mistake, and the eyes of the world were on them, and now they are paying the consequences.
Right. Straight to the point. Did you think that was a penalty or not? I thought it sort of wasn't at the start. I see it again and I'm thinking it is, and I'm really 50-50 on it.
Yeah, and you're not alone. It split a lot of opinion, hasn't it? And I think it's one of those for sure. If the referee gives it on the field, it would have been a check complete by the VAR. And equally, having not given it, it's also check complete. You hear Michael Oliver say the ball's in between, two players going together. The ball is too low to head. Duffs his foot to play the ball, and he does make contact on the ball. I understand why it's split opinion. I think it would have been check complete either way, not wanting to re-referee the game in situations that are not really clear, which is what we think VAR is for in this situation. The VAR stays out of it, and I think that is what we would expect.
You've been in this situation many times before. 98th minute, big game. What's going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, massive game, absolutely. It's a 1-1 game. You just want certainty, really. You want to know with clarity, with certainty that you're making the right decision. You don't always have sufficient information in the moment to make that decision. And, you need that on these big moments in and around the penalty area. Of course, you want to make the right decision. You do everything you can on the field to get into the best position, to stay focused right through to the end. But sometimes you just don't quite have all the information, and you want that certainty in these big moments. Clearly, Michael didn't have it in this situation, and then the VAR looks at it and doesn't see a clear and obvious situation. He sees something that's pretty subjective and therefore stays out of it. And the feedback we've had from people within the game is that this is a pretty subjective situation. It's split opinion. So on that basis, the VAR, working to that high threshold, kind of followed the right course in not getting involved.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say that it is subjective. But a lot of people will say, because it's the 98th minute, would that make any difference whether that happened in the 8th minute or the 98th? Is that when a referee's got to be even more certain? And do things like it's the big game, the score of the game, etc., does that come into play, or is it just you've just got to make the decision as it comes?
Yeah, I think penalty situations at any moment in a game of this magnitude are obviously always important. So you've got to stay focused first minute right through to the end. Towards the end of the game, maybe players in some situations will look to use contact to go down. Sometimes that's not what happens in this case, but you need to be aware of the way that players might behave in the later stages of the game, hence the reason that you need that level of certainty. But yeah, you're just aware of the consequence of those big decisions around the penalty area and the need for certainty.
Controversy has once again engulfed Manchester United after a disputed red card decision dramatically altered the course of a heated encounter. In a match finely poised and played at high intensity, the referee produced a straight red card for a challenge that many supporters and pundits believe did not meet the threshold for serious foul play. The dismissal left United a man down at a crucial stage, swinging momentum firmly in favor of their opponents. Replays of the incident quickly circulated online, with multiple angles suggesting the tackle, while robust, may have been misty-made rather than reckless. Critics argue that similar challenges in other fixtures have resulted in yellow cards, raising fresh concerns about consistency in officiating standards. The timing of the decision proved decisive, with United pushing forward and attempting to assert control. The numerical disadvantage forced a tactical reshuffle, reducing attacking threat and exposing defensive vulnerabilities. Social media erupted within minutes. Former players, analysts, and fans voiced frustration, demanding greater transparency in how such calls are assessed. Many questioned whether VAR thoroughly reviewed the incident or simply upheld the on-field decision without sufficient scrutiny. The broader debate now centers on accountability. Should referees provide clearer explanations after controversial calls? And is the current system doing enough to ensure fairness in high-stakes matches? Adding another layer of speculation, some reports have suggested that football authorities could review the outcome under exceptional circumstances. However, It is important to clarify that domestic league matters fall under the jurisdiction of the relevant national association and competition organizers, not FIFA, while FIFA oversees global regulations and international tournaments. League points are not typically overturned due to refereeing decisions unless there has been a proven administrative or regulatory breach. As pressure mounts, tension now turns to whether an official statement, clarification, or even an appeal will follow in the coming days. For Manchester United, the immediate concern is the potential suspension of the dismissed player and the impact on upcoming fixtures. For supporters, the frustration lingers. Another example, in their eyes, of how a single decision can redefine a match and potentially influence an entire season.